theme song for the Gear Podcast. Once more with my friend Uncle Leon Todd here. It's another, what's this, like the second in-person one this year? Third?
We're on a roll by popular request. Welcome back to the Beer Podcast. It's definitely not the Beer Podcast. It's the Gear Podcast.
I finished my coffee, but cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'll drop my phone as well.
It's all happening here on the Gear Podcast. As usual, mate, we just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who continually tunes in and supports what we do. Now, we were talking just before. It's the Cricket World Cup. And, mate, it's already been a nail-biter. Australia haven't played yet, but a few highlights. Well, the big one to me, I was watching it. Nepal almost beat England.
Ooh.
Like, only 4 runs, and they were on. I was watching it ball by ball. And if only they had got up. And there's just, it's a drama-packed, tense finale, and there's like 3 games a day. So I'm loving it in the shortest form. What about you, mate? What have you been up to?
Just, mate, I'm back teaching as of, yesterday, really. So I'm doing that. I'm making a couple of videos. I'm playing some guitar and putting off some of the other actual work I have to do.
Actual work,
in favor
Why would you do that?
Messing with guitars and stuff all day. But yeah, man, it's just like the start of the year is upon us. We're like middle of Feb just about already now, which is kind of crazy. But more importantly, it's a very exciting time. And
What a time to be alive.
Do you know why that is, Leon? Very important thing.
Is it because it's time to rock?
Mate, it is State of Origin week here in Perth, Western Australia. Saturday afternoon, Western Australia v Victoria. The most important thing to happen to this state, if not this country, in a nary 20 year. Is that the correct use of that?
Let's just say this century.
This century? This millennium, as a matter of fact.
In fact.
So that's very exciting. How are you going to celebrate, mate? You're not going to watch it. You got a gig?
I'm probably going to watch a bit.
You're going to watch a bit?
Yeah, I'll get around it. I hope the format is back, and I hope they take it seriously.
I think the boys are getting involved, man. The WhatsApp groups apparently are going nuts. You know, apparently Zach Butters laid out Mitch Georgiades in a training session. Just a bit of a like, there you go, mate. Like that's what you have to look forward to.
That's what you're in for.
Yeah, so that's
big
exciting.
Dog.
So yeah, I'm going to try, and I'm still trying to get tickets. If I can somehow scam a ticket, you know, on Facebook or whatever, I'll try and check it out. But
if you've got a ticket to State of Origin, go to the website www.givetroymoney.com and hook the man up. Mate, it's at the time we're recording this, because we're going to get onto some gear, something that I think a lot of people never imagined would actually happen, because they said they had no interest in doing it, has happened, and Fractal have released an amp modeling plugin.
They sure have. Icons Fullerton Complete, mate. How you feel about that?
I feel pretty good because I just did a video with it. So
me too.
And so did you. So yeah, I feel like I spent so much time on there going, man, these clean sounds are amazing, as you would expect. How can I get it to sound like a Marshall?
Or you just click the Dweezil model on, do you?
Yeah, that's a very, very good one.
How do you feel as a long-time Fractal user now that this plugin's out? Do you feel pretty excited about it?
I do, because as of this time next week, I'm going to be in Adelaide for a whole month. And a lot of what I do on tour is sit around in my hotel, and then you're like, well, I want to play guitar. But then having to take an extra piece of hardware to play guitar, whereas I'm just going to take a tiny little interface on my laptop and just play the sounds I like on my computer. And that's very, very exciting.
Yeah, that's bloody ripper, mate. I'm looking forward to using this plugin in some sessions, because I've had it for a little while, for a couple of weeks, not allowed to talk about it. And I had some sessions where I really could have used it too. And I was like, I'm not going to do this too early. Not going to, break the news by accident to someone. And it was funny. Like I tried some other options and they felt pretty good too. Some other like clean plugins, but I was just like, man, I want to just rip this guy open and have a smash. There's some cool parts of it, man. Like the whole Dynacab thing's really cool. It's really exciting. There's like 30 in the complete bundle. There's like 36 different amps to try, so it's pretty fun. So I guess like for this emergency podcast, we should spend a lot of time talking about this new plugin. What do you think about that, mate?
I think we should. It's pretty cool, because I think with plugins in particular and software, they're comparable in some ways to using hardware, but also they're their own complete different universe once you get into that, right?
Yep.
And we obviously spend a lot of time talking about hardware and how awesome hardware is, but also using outside of guitar stuff. I had never used any audio hardware aside from my interface. It's always plugins, it's always software. It's so convenient. It sounds so amazing. The value inherent in it, I think, is pretty incredible. So having sounds I'm really familiar with in the plugin format, and obviously because I've used the Fractal stuff so much, it's like a really familiar workflow as well. So, and the way they've approached as well as kind of amp-themed suites is pretty cool, I think. And especially doing the Fender thing, which I think when I first heard about it, I was sort of like, really? Wouldn't you want to do like, I don't know, high gain? Because the universe revolves around high gain. But playing with it and then also thinking about it, it makes a lot of sense from that perspective that there's so much good high gain stuff. But if you want vintage tones, a lot of the time you want, let's just say with Fender stuff, and I'll pitch this to you because this is real world experience for you. When you're recording someone who's not playing rock or metal music, like say someone comes in and they're doing a blues thing or a jazz thing or an indie thing, right? A lot of the time they just want to plug their amp in, which a lot of the time is like a small Fender combo, right?
Well, they just bring their pedal board that does all the tone shaping, so they just chuck it into some sort of clean Fender like deluxe or a hot rod or something like that. And I mean it doesn't need to be fancy. Like I think you and we live in this high gain world where amp distortion is the only thing that we care about. And I think that was where my brain was at for about 15 straight years. And then it's not until the last couple of years I've spent more time working with a variety of artists where it isn't just about like rock and metal stuff. And you pull up a Fender, it's a Strat, like a clean sort of sound and maybe a bit of mod stuff or chorus and whatever. It's just like, man, it kind of just sounds pretty good. And then you do crank those Fender amps up a little bit and they don't get too distorted. They just sort of crunch up a little bit and it's like, oh, that's the sound. It's like, it's not a bunch of this stuff. It just is like a little bit of hair on it and like happy days. So, I mean, the time that I've been playing the plugin, I've still gravitated towards the usual suspects like the Deluxe, the Princeton, that sort of thing.
I really like the Princeton stuff you did in your demo.
Yeah, that was like I haven't used real Princetons that much, but I've been using like models of Princetons and stuff for a while. Like my main HX Stomp preset is based off like a Princeton, and it's just like kind of boring, but it just sounds completely as I want. It's like it's not a fancy, oh my god, like look at my Dumble-esque like ringing fucking bell-like tones and
sounds
stuff.
like guitar.
Just sounds like guitar. It's something like you and I talk about heaps. It's just like just play and just does it sound like guitar? It's like it's pretty straightforward. So yeah, just having that in the plugin's cool. Like I've been using the other stuff I demoed recently, like mostly the UAD Paradise. I've been using that for a couple of sessions, and I really like the way that works too. It's
also
an interface on it.
Plugin.
Yeah, the interface on it is really good. So yeah, I've had a lot of success with that. I think before, it kind of feels like maybe in the last 3 months, maybe since that UAD plugin came out, it's kind of like now next gen plugins.
Yes.
It hasn't deliberately happened. I don't think everyone's like colluded to be like, oh, now we're putting stuff out. But it kind of feels to me like if I went back 5 years, 10 years, I'd be pulling up the THU plugin. Maybe that was like on the cutting edge, or like what else was out there? What else was popular at the time? Like that was probably just on the cusp of the neural stuff starting to drop.
Yep. Mercurial.
Yeah, I mean, even like Guitar Rig and Amplitude and that sort of stuff, like pre-Tonex.
Yes.
That was all like what we had on offer. And there was a lot of times that I'd be pulling up those plugins and going through clean amps, just trying to find the right thing for the sound. And it was all fine.
Let's go back in time when we were recording the Here Today Ragdoll release. Was it that one or was it the next one? One of them, we bought a twin in to do some clean sounds. And I distinctly recall once we like cracked what we were doing with the dirty sounds, that just became this extravaganza where it was so fun and we worked so fast, and all these experiments where it was like, oh, you put this fuzz pedal into this dirty amp, or you do this, and layering guitars. And then it got to a point where we needed to record a clean sound. And we were like, what the fuck do we do?
Yeah.
It was really hard to get like a convincing clean sound. And then I think we ended up using the clean channel of the Marshall DSL, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
But now we'd approach it so differently, right?
Yeah, because we don't have a vocabulary for clean sounds.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the reality. You know, we grew up listening to 80s metal, and the clean sounds on those 80s metal albums are like, they're not bad sounds, but they're not like, they are a very specific thing. Like, I used to always struggle. It's something about the 80A MP1 that I never liked, was I never liked the sterile, clean, solid state sound. Nowadays, I don't hate it completely.
You like it for what it is.
I like it for what it is. I can get around like the tube clean in it. I can make it do now what I think it should do. But the albums I was listening to when I was in like early 20s, late teens, man, I mean, think about the clean sounds that you like, that you think are good clean sounds when you like metal, which like that...
Dokken, Alone Again.
Yeah, but that sterile, thin, sort of like ultra clean thing, it's just, I never liked playing it back then, and consequently I never knew what a fucking good clean, excuse me, my language, what a good clean sound was.
Metal amp clean channel.
Yep.
I remember like early 2000s, you know, when I was old, well, probably mid 2000s, when I was old enough to go see live bands, that would always be the thing where everyone would harp on about needing a channel switching amp, and then someone would play clean, and it would never work.
Yep.
Yeah, they do their clean intro or their bridge or something, and I think for me, around that time, the two sounds I thought were the sickest clean sounds were the Pull Me Under clean tone, which is like heavily processed, chorusy.
Yep.
I didn't clock that at the time. That, or the really warm, fat, what's the album? It's an Opeth album, Damnation.
I don't know that one as well, but...
Yeah, so they did two albums, one Deliverance and the other one called Damnation, and Deliverance was just like balls out, super heavy.
I know the one you mean, yeah.
Yeah. And also, like, I was just, that like Opeth clean tone, like almost a jazzy clean. They were the sort of, you needed super sparkle, you needed that, but not a lot of hair on it at all.
Yep.
Whereas for me, growing up, when I was first learning guitar, it was classic rock stuff, so it was Thin Lizzy and Deep Purple and you know, those kind of like crunch tones, and Stevie Ray Vaughan. And this is the theme that I'm getting to, is it's like that neck pickup, like just fat. It's got some hair on it, but it's the way it just like sounds like guitar. That to me is like it took me a long time to realize that's what I want. And then this plugin, I think the first thing I tried was the Vibroverb model in there. There's a like...
Yeah, I tried that one too.
The SRV mod, where I think it's his text, he's a Diaz, whatever. You pull some element of it so you get slightly more gain. I was like, oh yeah, neck pickup on a Strat, and that's that like blue, fat, mega bluesy tone. You put a tube screamer in front of it, put a bit of ambience on it, and I can just play that all day and do my like Robin Trower and SRV cosplay.
Yep.
And I feel like that's a sound 5 years ago, 10 years ago was pretty difficult to get in a plugin.
Yep.
And especially now with this Fractal plugin, the Maya plugin.
The Maya plugin does that great too. Like I didn't like that
Paradise.
one. Yeah, the Paradise one. I didn't like elements of the Maya one, but there were tones in it that I was like, man, and the presets I think were really awesome. So yeah, there's like, I'm like not trying to fanboy out about the Fractal one too much, because I think a lot of these, I'll unofficially, for my language, call it this like new generation of like plugins and clean sounds. It's just like they all kind of like they feel usable to me. They all feel more like I feel like a good clean sound requires volume.
Yes.
You know, it's like it's the movement of air thing that you can't really capture without standing in front of something that's pushing air, but it just has that same sensation, that same feeling under the fingers. And yeah, that's kind of been cracked. And like, I mean, you've played these similar tones in the other Fractal stuff for years, so I know it's not like a new thing for you. And I mean, I've, in the times that I've had the modern generation of the Fractal stuff too, it's, you know, it's not completely new to me either. It's just nice to have it convenient, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. And instantly recallable. And, you know, one thing, I think one bugbear for a lot of people with the Fractal hardware stuff is, yeah, you can do USB reamping on it, but it's not like using a plugin where you just put it on an instance of a track, tweak it.
Yep.
You got to connect the USB and set your ins and outs, and it's hardware reamping, which is a different thing. Whereas now with this, and they have spoken on the forum that they're going to be doing other suites based on other classic amps.
Yep.
That just is going to make me so happy. Where you're recording, you get your tone, cut your DIs, and then then you've got those accessible things. And I think the cool thing is, I think it's pretty uncontroversial to say, Fractal were the first company to do amp modeling that sounded really good. They really were. That Axe FX there's pre-Axe FX and there's post-Axe FX, and everyone else is right in that trail. And before that, it was always like, oh yeah, you can get it to sound good if you do A, B, C, D.
Yeah. But I mean, the only competition at that point would have been the Line 6 stuff.
Yeah.
Really. And it was almost 20 years ago, man, that I first heard of Fractal, and I remember we spoke about it, and I remember you. Yeah, actually, it was 2007.
I remember coming to your house, man,
and the first comment that you said as a maths, and it was like, "Oh, that's a cool name for a company, Fractal." Yep. But yeah, it's like reading it on the Racer X forum in 2007, and then one of the users saying, "Yeah, I sold all my amps because this thing sounds great," and I'm like, "Well, this is the future."
There is that demo of a guy playing, I think it's just a Brown sound preset or something. Mm-hmm. I remember being like, whoa.
Yep.
That's what I want guitar to sound like. And then when the Ultra came out, there was someone who did a demo of the Crystal Echoes preset.
Yep.
And I also remember flipping out about that because I was like, why would you pay double the price for an Eventide when you get that and you can get that Brown sound thing in it? And and the big appeal at the time was it was a piece of rack gear.
And we love ourselves some rack gear, don't we?
Absolute uncoolest time to be doing rack gear. It was like, whoa, someone out there is doing rack gear, new rack gear. Now it's 20 years later, and you're like, whoa, the Soldano X88, the Head First Alta, people are doing rack gear again. Like, what's going on? It's funny, right? That was 20 years ago. That's wild.
It's funny. I shouldn't have been talking about random stuff in my class yesterday, but you know how skinny jeans are out now? You shouldn't be wearing skinny jeans, but I've been wearing the same thing for the last 20 years. And it's I've stayed the same and the world's changed around me. That it's kind of goes full circle where I can just, every 5 to 10 years, I'm suddenly cool again.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with rack. So it's been a longer cycle.
The tide goes in and the tide goes out, and I just get crustier every year.
But yeah, man, I mean, a couple of things with this plugin that I like. The input calibration thing I think is really useful.
Yes. Very clever feature.
I spent a long time messing with that and trying it out. To see how it would work with my own stuff. That's not your guitar in there as a reference, is it?
There's many of them.
There you go. Is yours the 77? That's so fun. I didn't put that together till just then, but because you can make your own reference file.
Yeah.
And I guess load it in if you've got a piece of Fractal hardware, which I don't. So I said it in my video, which please go and watch as well because it just came out. But Undertone Audio GB Tracker into my audio interface, Avid Matrix thing into Pro Tools. As an audio nerd and as a recording dude, getting correct input levels is kind of my job, right? It's one of the few things that, even though everyone can do everything at home, they still for some reason don't understand signal flow and gain structures. So it's oh man, I get pretty nerdy and passionate about it, even though it's about as boring of a topic as you can imagine. But yeah. So with the input calibration thing, it's something that in a lot of software is never really considered. If your gain on your interface isn't set right, then yeah, if it's too low, you're probably not going to get as much gain. If it's set too high, it's going to clip before it comes into the software. And yeah,
we need to shout out Ed, also known, I just know him from the Gear Forum as Mirror Profiles, who has an excellent website, but a lot of that calibration stuff was him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Ed, and I wrote to Ed recently, and he's got a bunch of threads on the forum talking about the Diesel VH4 model, comparing a bunch of different software models, and yeah. And I just kind of, and I will say this publicly because I sort of wrote to him and I was like, man, anytime you post anything, in a sea of fuckwits, because that's what the internet is. You know, this isn't specific to gear forums. It is just a sea of fuckwits. Seeing someone who actually is competent and considerate and, you know, is sort of like using fact-based, just information and data. I was like, I just really, really appreciate it. I know Ed listens to this podcast, so it might actually be really cool one day to get Ed on here.
Yeah, shout out to you, Ed.
Makes great IRs and captures as well. So, yeah, shout out Mirror Profiles and for doing all these, like actually participating in a community, I think is really, really nice. But yeah, a lot of that calibration stuff they have a lot to do with.
Yeah.
And seeing it in a plugin is great because if you play Amplitude, I don't know what IK Multimedia is doing, but like the input levels are just fucked. You know, so you play an amp model and you're like, this is the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. You know, like I think it was I believe it was one of the Marshall models where you either had to massively boost or massively cut, like pad it down. And then it was like, oh, yeah, no, that's a really good Marshall model. It's just they didn't get the input gain stuff right where it sounds really, and again,
wrong, yeah.
Still haven't had enough coffee, so I can't remember the specifics of it, but that's a good example. Whereas with this, you're like, open up the plugin, you're like, okay, well, what interface am I using? I can reamp a thing, I can get the levels right. Or if you're using, you know, if you're somebody who uses a Fractal product already as your interface, then they're just like, oh yeah, turn this knob all the way up and then you're good. So I like that. I think the difference for a company like Fractal, because they've historically been a hardware company.
Yep.
You know, there's lots of people who own the hardware who are going to want to get this. You know, say they do a Marshall suite at some point. Like, I know people who only use 2 or 3 amp models in the Axe FX.
Yep.
And they love it, but they primarily use it because they're like, man, the 50-watt Plexi is just the one.
Yep.
And then every now and then I'll play the JCM 800 or I'll play the 100-watt Plexi. But I don't need anything else in my life, and I don't care about Fender models, and I don't care about multi-tap delays. Can I pay $99 and get that? That's like the bargain of the century. So, and similarly for the Fender stuff. The other thing I think about the Fender thing, you know, I mentioned the Stevie Ray thing. I also remember early 2000s. Remember the like Analog Man, Keeley, modded Tube Screamer wars?
Yep.
Where it was just like how to get the SRV tone. That was the holy grail. Yep. And I feel like that's coming back a bit. But the other thing, and I will shout out someone else who may or may not listen to this podcast, but they're a friend of mine, my mate Voya in Sydney, did a video with a plugin. And, you know, I feel like the one thing, and we've spoken about this, but like he really likes the Chili Peppers. And I'm always like, man, Chili Peppers, I just never got it. But then I listen to his mixes and I watch him play guitar, and he can do everything. Like, you know, he can John Sykes it up. He can play drop tune metal stuff. He's an excellent engineer and producer. But you hear him do like the Frusciante thing and it's like, oh, okay, I get it. You know, and that's sort of the video he did with the Fender, this Icons plugin was a very like fat sounding Chili style thing. And I was like, that sounds incredible. And of course, using these amps for those sort of tones would work. And I know he's been using an AX8 for a long time. And he was like, man, it just like works. It sits in the mix perfectly. And it's like, I didn't have to do anything. I just used a preset and sounded great. So that's a whole other, you know, the Frusciante tone is a massive thing people chase as well. So I feel like this would be excellent for those where there's also a fuzz in there and some cool, there's a DS1 like all these
that made me laugh. I don't know why, but like the fact that there is a DS1 of all things. Like I don't know this as inside and out as you do, like with the drive block, is that what's available in all of Fractal hardware? Is there stuff missing, or is it like a curated list of it?
It's like a curated list. There's like I've lost track of the number of drives they have, right? So I think that's here's a bunch of cool drives that would go well with these amps, right? So,
everybody's favorite, the DS1.
Well, hey, man. Hey, Chili Peppers.
Don't want to yuck anyone's yum.
Nirvana. That's another thing, another type of sound people are always chasing, right?
Yeah, I didn't think about that one, actually. The have we spoken about that guy that was trying to chase the In Utero guitar sound? Really interesting.
Great videos.
Yeah, really cool videos.
Like incredible attention to detail. And did he also, like he got in touch with Albini just before he passed away?
Maybe.
I think so. I think there was some back and forth.
Died. It was like, I forgot he died, Albini, but that must have been like 2 years ago now, right?
Yeah, I was watching, there's an interesting Albini thing where he's talking about working with Page and Plant.
Oh, yeah.
And it's funny because you're like, bro, you're Albini. Like you are, the ground you walk on is also worshipped. He was talking about working with Page and Plant where it was like, yeah, I was getting in and I was doing the thing and, then it had to be set up so that they could just walk in. And he sort of made the point is like, yeah, when you realize these guys have essentially been treated as gods since they were 18 years old.
Yep.
There's just little things which are like slightly different. And also having infinite access to money.
Yep.
Where they're sitting there and they're like, be nice to have a string section on this, Jimmy. What do you think? Yeah, sounds good. And he's like, 9 a.m. the next morning, there's like the London Symphony Orchestra tuning up. And you just have to put microphones in front of them and let them do the magic. Man,
that's so funny. Albini like miking up an orchestra. I feel like that's not that's not something he's had worked at, where to exactly place one microphone to get it to sound right. But that's interesting.
Amazing. Hey, anyway, we digress. But yeah, those sounds, there's a lot. There's a lot you can do with this stuff. And of course, for me, it was like, hey, there's a graphic EQ in here.
Yep.
And there's a bassman. Mm-hmm. So if you take the bassman and you boost it, and you put like a greenback cab in there, and then you like scoop out the graphic EQ, you basically have like a modern Marshall. Like, this is sick.
Yep. Yeah, I did like that. And there's like, I think there's like 4 or 5 different graphics in there, right, with different bands and stuff. So it's kind of interesting. I'm surprised it was that and parametric actually, but maybe that's just the studio nerd in me that likes that sort of thing.
Yeah, and also just get Pro Q4 people. What are you doing?
So I guess the other thing, the Dynacab stuff in this was really quite fun to play with. Like, I haven't messed with it heaps in a studio context. Like, I've messed with it on like the FM9, but it's like super snappy and responsive to move that mic around, which I guess is sort of how a lot of Dynacabs work in other software these days, or like that style of moving a mic. But yeah, the cabinets and the mics and stuff, it's all pretty usable and good. And those are cabinets as well that I don't have immediate access to, which is quite useful. So like with anything that I buy these days, buy or get or whatever it is, I like to you just work out how I can use it in my workflow. Like the U80 Paradise was cool because it was like, this is a collection of cleaner, more vintage sounding amps. So I can just plug in and get the sound I want. But I can imagine using this plugin. I remember, I'm not sure if we spoke to him about it or if it was another video, but Chris Baseford talking about using an Axifx 3 as his cabinets for everything.
Yes.
And just using, use a load box from the amp, plug it into that, and then you just basically get the sound you want. And I know that the attention to detail in capturing the cabinets in the Fractal stuff is like really, really high. So, I'm trying to piece together different applications for this. And yeah, I said I could imagine just turning everything else off, plugging like a Fender amp or like the Synergy stuff or whatever. That'd be kind of cool. Plug it into a 2x12 that I don't have access to, or a 4x10.
My favorite cab in there is the 1x15 Vibroverb cab.
Okay.
Again, I think to me, I was just like, oh, this is my Stevie Ray Vaughan in a box.
Yep.
Great. Strat. The 1x15 is like, it's such an interesting sound. Mm-hmm. And even the like dead center ribbon on it is just like, you're just like, well, there it is, you know? There's your like room filling kind of thing. So it'd be interesting playing around with that and some of the like the Dumbley style Synergy modules or something like that. Yeah. And it's crazy, right? Because you can't see it in the shot, but like you've got the Syn 20 IR just sitting there, and you can just take an XLR out of that.
Yep.
You've got the power amp modeling. You can bypass the IRs if you want to use that.
Yep.
It's pretty rad.
It's pretty ripper dipper actually, if you think about it. Just out of curiosity, like the expert, what do they call it? Or advanced mode? What do they call it? Advanced? Or there's like the basic mode in the apps, and there's like the one with more switches and knobs.
Should know this, seeing how long I stared at the plugin while I was testing it.
Yeah, and just FYI, everybody, if you do watch my video, that was my 5th attempt at doing it, because I literally filmed the video 4 other times and screwed something up. Like something wasn't recording, or something was. It was a nightmare.
Mate,
I'm glad I got it out. But
fifth time lucky.
Yeah, 5th time lucky. At least I didn't stumble over my words on the 5th time as much as I did the other 4 times. But Yeah, that page, I know watching your other videos with the Fractal stuff, like you get in there and like dive in and tweak stuff a lot more. But yeah, did you mess with that much?
I certainly did. Here's the thing as well that I think is very unique. Let's say, you know, they have said on the record, again, I'm not giving away trade secrets or anything. They've mentioned that they're going to do more of these suites, right? So let's just say there's a Marshall one. Okay. There's a lot of JCM 800 plugins. How many of them let you go and play around with a Variac or like a Plexi plugin that will let you play around with like a Variac and not just a switch called Brown, but like, I can set the Variac to a certain value. I can add clipping diodes with the saturation switch, you know? So I want to do a Jose mod to this, my favorite Plexi model. Great. Go in there, do that, play around with that. They still have the boost in the amp block, which is like the shred boost and the CC boost are just two of my favorite boosts. So yeah, having that advanced stuff under the hood, having a what you see is what you get. Cool, it's an 800, I twist the knobs. It sounds like that, but then being able to go to the next page and be like, you know what? I want this to sound a bit more like a Cameron. I'm going to put the saturation switch on and just get that extra bit of, well, basically like your 800 down there, right? You know, oh, cool, there's a magic switch. It sounds different. I think will be of immense value to amp nerds like ourselves, you know, or say a 5150 thing where you're just like, okay, cool, I've got the OG in there, or I can try a stealth, or I can, you know, but that's, again, these things are already represented in software, just not in that way. I like that it's that extra little bit of detail. Yeah,
it is cool. Like, I mean, to put it into a use case for me too, like I think like we talk a lot about UIs and how it's important. If you're controlling your Axe effects, like your hardware one or your Line 6 stuff, or you're running it in a plugin, like how you actually use it is really important. Most of the time for me, I think the basic thing is all I need. But in saying that, like if I'm doing a track and I've got this loaded up on like 4 or 5 different tracks for whatever reason, that is firstly really convenient, but then just to be able to like go in and like automate that stuff if I wanted to, or even like you have the entire track playing, so you've got the guitar in context with everything else, and then you can tweak it. That's a very good point. I did not consider is automation with this stuff, right? It kind of it's really nerdy stuff, and like, you know, I'm coming at that as a studio dude and as a nerd, and that's probably not the use case for like a lot of people that just want to plug in and play. I mean, you know, the limits of the blocks that are in this thing are like completely fine for what, say like minimum 50% of people want to do when they play guitar. So like you can just plug in and you don't have to worry about any of this shit and just do it. And then if you want to be like crazy person like me or you, more like you, and like dial it in and chuck it in a track, like, man, it's all kind of there to play with. So you can sort of, I don't know, there's freaking 36 amps in that complete one too, man. Like that's a lot of time.
The other thing as well, which again, a thing not really represented, is the Tweed Deluxe thing, that like disgusting splat, almost square wave thing you get, like the Neil Young, where you like play and it's basically just sounds like you have the world's most awesome fuzz pedal on, but then you roll your volume back and it's just like pristine, clean thing. That's another thing that I don't think is really represented in plugin world, because you get like an amplitude style thing, right? And you hear the Twin and the Deluxe and the Tweed, and you're like, have you guys really modeled this, or have you just like one has more or less gain on them sort of thing? Whereas with that, you're like, okay. And again, this is a thing, if you're like a high gain guy, it's the opposite of a tight, chunky sound. It is this like just disgusting. It's the definition of a character tone. But it has the behavior that if you were someone who owned one of those amps and loved that aspect of it, now you can have it in software. And also because it's software, if you're just like, man, I love the Fractal clon into the Vibreverb, but I've got the Nolly plugin from Neural DSP and I want to use one of his cabs and like the double tracker. And then I want to run that into like Sound Toys Echo Boy. You just do it. It takes 30 seconds. 1, 2, 3, there's your signal chain. You know, again, different thing to hardware. So yeah, it's pretty rad. Or you get your Steam Deck and just do it on there. Did you see that video?
I didn't watch it. I saw it come up though. Yeah. The actual like portable. Yeah.
I'd seen a while ago there was a picture. Someone was like, I'm running a neural DSP plugin on the Steam Deck. But yeah, I think that guy, what's his name, Sebastian Society, does some good videos. Young guy, and yeah,
mate, put it on a Nintendo Switch too, and I'll be all about it.
Yep.
Imagine rocking up to your gig with your Switch just in your backpack,
like the dock.
Yeah. Oh man, that's actually a great idea. Yeah, the Nintendo dock where that sits on your pedal board and you just like, whoop.
But you know, people they complain that bands don't use backline anymore.
Yep.
Instead of a cabinet, a Nintendo Switch dock.
Oh man.
And you walk on stage and clip it in, and then it lights up, and then there's your guitar sound.
There are some other YouTube type people their brains would explode if that became a reality. It's very funny. But
man,
you'd do a gig with it. I'd do a gig with it.
Mate.
Do it once. Do anything once.
I'd do everything once. There's a guy, his YouTube channel is called Modern Vintage Gamer. Have you seen him?
No, I don't think so.
It's excellent. He's a software developer, and he's Australian, but I think he lives in the States.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he plays either guitar or bass as well.
Right.
Really awesome videos. He does a lot of stuff about emulation, and he does very thorough reviews. But a few videos I've seen, there's just like a bass back there. I'm like, I reckon this guy loves metal.
Yep.
And like probably records some music as well. So if anyone knows Modern Vintage Gamer, see if he can get Fractal Icons or Neural DSP Nolly running on a Nintendo Switch.
Just slightly related to that, I was listening to Tone Talk the other day, and they were talking about the tech that's in the Friedman IR load.
Yep.
Whatever that machine learning thing is. But apparently that's also in a bunch of SpaceX stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and apparently, I mean, I think this is true. Maybe this is false, so I take it back if it's not. But apparently, according to the thing, it was like the tech that it's basically they've got that tech, and SpaceX has that tech because the guy that invented it at Space Tech also plays guitar.
Man, here's the thing. There is a massive crossover with the aerospace industry and the music industry. If you think about it, manufacturing obviously would be that, but the constant need to come up with like creative solutions for stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously you're an aerospace, you know, there's so much crossover with technically minded people in the music industry, obviously, but I just feel like aerospace is, I've spoken to a few people before who've emailed me and talking about guitar stuff. And they're like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm an aerospace engineer. I'm like, man, that sounds sick. And they're like, it's not really, it's, you know, it's a job like any other. You try to solve problems, but that's funny. I love that. Just like, oh guys, by the way,
they'd love racks too. I reckon your aerospace engineers, they'd be like rack people.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, mate, think about a cockpit in a plane.
Hey,
you know, just it's a. I think the thing that appeals to me in particular about like the 2290, it just looks like something from a plane, right?
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
And you know that it definitely would have been, I don't know, because what, TC are Danish?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
And you know how like Denmark, a lot of international cargo shipping, like Denmark in particular smashes that.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if like back in the 70s, there was like, you know, you're at engineering school. What are you going to do? I'm going to start an audio company. Yeah, I'm going to get into boats. Oh, cool, man. Stay in touch. Hey, bro. So I'm like, I just designed this amazing delay. Where do I get those displays that you have in like the, you know, in your ship? Oh, yeah, you got to call like this part supplier.
Yep.
Right? Because it's like during COVID when Line 6 and Fractal and all these other companies couldn't get chips. Because electric cars were like, hey, you know how you suddenly have a limited manufacturing capacity? How about you just rip up those contracts and we'll buy them from you because we're going to order like 1 billion of them.
Yep.
And what are these companies going to order? 5,000? Yeah. Give us the contract.
Give it me.
Give it me, exactly. Yeah, mate.
Yeah. Bloody ripper. So fun plugin. Said I'm looking forward to trying it. I'm not a big these days, like Fractal isn't my life like it has been for you. So I'm still like getting into it and learning it. And yeah, I've had fun playing it, and I've returned to it a few times to mess around with too. It hasn't just been like, oh, I'll play it and then I'll just give it away. Kind of did that with the Maya one.
Right.
I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I just forgot about it. I didn't buy that one. Paradise I've used in an actual session. This one I'm looking forward to trying it out. I've got a few sessions coming up where I think I'll be able to get some use out of it and try it out. So that'll be the true test for me.
Yeah.
You know, because like I mostly play guitar for work reasons. As much as I do like guitars and stuff, it's a part of my job. So if I can't find use for these things in the practical application of my work, then I tend to forget about it. But I think this one has a place. So I'm interested to keep experimenting with it.
What I love now in 2026 is you can get a non-fractal hardware unit that sounds great, and you can get a fractal plugin that sounds great.
Yep.
That's a cool place to be. I feel like, as you said, there's this like new generation of stuff coming in where it's you can have it all.
Yep.
You can actually have it all. You can have a big or a small software suite as you like, a big or a small hardware setup as you like.
Yep.
And you just have a fat time.
Well, I saw something, one of the comments today, which was like, it's just crazy nowadays, like Neural's making hardware and Fractal's making plugins. Yeah. Like, isn't that something? What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive. Before we finish, I was filming a demo. This is totally unrelated. I was filming a demo for some fuzz pedals, which will come out not long after this video comes out. And I was like, man, can I just say I was having a fat time, and it was reminding me about years ago tracking those EPs we were doing where it's like all those different fuzzes and, we stumbled across how awesome the Swollen Pickle is.
Yep.
And I've just still got mine and I love it so much. So I was using these fuzzes and I was like, you know what? I'm going to run them into my old Marshall. And that thing's got a master on it, right? So normally I peg that back a little bit and I was like, fuck it. All the way up.
Yep.
And it was last week, so it was a very hot day. And I was just like playing this thing, and I sort of maybe after about an hour and a half, just playing the amp, I'm just like, oh, this is
just loving it.
Just loving it. I had this octave fuzz thing going, and I was just like dooming out with it. And then I played an A chord, and the amp just went, pew. And I was like, great. Now you've done it, you dummy. You've blown your amp up. So I immediately get on the blower to JT.
On one of these?
On one of these. I'm like, JT, mate, I've blown my amp. What do I do? And he goes, JT being Jason Tong, Headfirst Amps, who modified the amp. So I figured I've ruined the amp. Probably going to have to send it back to him. I'm like, what do I do? So it probably just sounds like a fuse. Like, is the amp lighting up? I'm like, yes. He's like, cool. It'll be the HT fuse. I'm like, all right. What one's that? There's one fuse spot on the back, and it's the mains fuse. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool. So the HT fuse, yeah, all right. Where's that? He's like, yeah, oi, dummy, the HT fuse. We're going back and forth. And I was like, but where is it? I can't see it. He goes, give me 1 second, because I took some photos of your amp when I modified it. He goes, oh, bro, it's internal. So I've got the fuses, and I tested another fuse in the other one, thinking it was a HT fuse, and blew it. Right. I took it out of my cherry tone, which I'd also been playing and loving.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that was obviously the wrong value in there. So I was like, great, now my cherry tone doesn't have a fuse. Now this Marshall doesn't have a fuse. So I went and bought 10 fuses yesterday. I've just got to take the chassis apart and get them into this fuse board.
Yep.
And hopefully that will fix it.
Yep.
Because everything else on the amp looks good. I was like, I can roll some tubes through it, or maybe it's a bad tube, but no. Fairly confident it is just a fuse. So,
well, good luck with that, cousin.
I've
been through this as well, like a bunch of times, and you're talking about swapping fuses.
Like, yeah,
out of
I just
different
played
amps, so
I just played too much on this thing.
Yeah, you just had too much fun. You're just loving it.
And you know what else is great? And I should let you borrow this thing, is the fuzz face thing. Like where you crank it, but then you back off your guitar volume control.
Yep.
It's, again, things that have been common knowledge for like 60 years, right? Yep. I finally get it.
Yeah, so Leon is, I hope this is okay to say, Leon's 37 years old, I'm 38 years old, and a lot of people in their 20s, early 20s, learn these things, but we were too busy listening to Racer X and Dokken, and we just didn't get it, and now in our advancing age, now we're just discovering the common knowledge, And I mean, I'd say that someone should write a textbook about this, but then I wouldn't read it because, that's lame.
Why would you?
Exactly, so...
Believe it or not, Jimi Hendrix was pretty good.
You reckon?
Yeah, I reckon he was maybe a gold standard guitar player in some ways.
He didn't used to sleep with his guitar, holding it in bed, just like Steve Smith and his cricket bat.
Yeah.
There you go. So, two legends.
Two legends of their respective instruments.
Did you Did you ever read that and then do that yourself? Sleep with the guitar?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
So uncomfortable.
Yeah, I didn't do it more than maybe once.
I didn't even get through one night, man. I like woke up. I was like, "What's wrong with me? What am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, this is stupid."
That's why you're no Jimi Hendrix, mate.
That's why I'm no Himi Gendrix. Well, one of the best lines I've ever heard. A friend of ours goes, "Yeah, I've been compared to Hendrix vocally."
Who said that?
Gasman. Isn't that just a legendary
Yeah.
Gasman?
That's very good.
One-off. Shout out to Gasman. He's probably not listening to this, but
Yeah.
I saw him the other day. He came to a gig.
Oh, right on.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, he's a nice man. I like
He's
him,
looking
man.
great.
Yeah.
You know, for a man who has partied as hard as he has, he's in fine form. It was great. And it was like straight back into it. And I was like, man, we should just do like a Crown Jewels gig at some point.
Yeah. And he's saying all along the Watchtower to you. He was like, God, there it is.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He's actually I'll put this on record. I much prefer his voice to Jimmy's. And I like Jimmy's voice. I'll say this. I know Jimmy personally didn't like his own voice, but when you hear it, mate, it's just...
It works.
You know what Hendrix was? He was the first full spectrum dominance guitar player. Just full spectrum. Could you, there's a video, I think it's him playing in Hawaii and it's upscaled 4K footage.
Oh, okay, I haven't
It's
seen it.
one song. Man, if you watch it, what do the kids call it? Aura?
Oh, yeah.
He is just aura farming. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And the way he plays guitar, you're just like, yeah, imagine being another guitar player and watching that and just how you would not know what to do with your life because this guy is just aura farming on you.
Mate, he's no Tim Henson.
Yeah.
That's,
Who is?
Yeah, mate. Anyway, on that, should we leave it?
All right.
Peace out, everybody.
See you on the next one, legends.